Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today I'm painting a great blue heron in a wet area with grass behind it. I love these reflections. I'm painting it in a narrow format. I cut my mats and it should mat up just like that. So I used water-soluble graphite paper, and all I did was trace the blue heron and the reflection. So it looks like that. The way that I'm going to paint this is I'm going to paint the positive blue heron here first. I'm just going to use my pencil brush, and I'm going to use cerulean blue, a little bit of French ultramarine in it to make that nice blues. I think I'll just put these little, let this part in right now. And this picture doesn't have the little flicks of feathers, but I'm gonna put those in. There's this nice bright blue dot on the wing. I'll put that in, and it's nice and bright and blue. Down here in the belly. If you're watching this and you don't, watching these YouTube videos, but you're not in my classes, I want to just describe these brushes for one quick second. I call this a museum pencil brush. You can buy this in almost any museum in the world. They're $3 or $4 at the checkout counter. They're really good brushes. They wear out, and the pencil you can use too. These, so you can get them anywhere. They're very inexpensive. When they wear out, just get a new one. Check for the, try and get the sharpest point on them as you're looking through the 10 or 20 of them that they have out. Okay, good. I'm gonna make that a little brighter too. Okay, and now I'm just going to add a little water to this. And start painting this lighter blue. Right across here. Now I need to get some violet in this. I'm going to add a little bit of permanent rose into this, and I've got this kind of warm violet. Just painting around the neck on this side. And now I'm going to wet my brush and dry it and soften the edge on the neck here. That's going to make it look kind of round. Here I'm going to just do this light blue. This is light blue here. It's actually looking pretty heron-like, just that quickly. Starting with those darks was the trick to that. And let's see, I need to get the legs in. I see the legs as kind of this purple. I'm gonna just do the tiniest bit of burnt sienna into that and brown it up a little bit. I'm just painting the legs in. That's where the reflection starts, right there. Their knees are just the little thicknesses, thickened legs, and they bend the opposite direction. They're like their knees are our ankles. That's the way they bend. This I'm gonna add just a little bit of French and burnt sienna to this little spot and get a little bit of dark right here. Maybe this is gonna be too dark. I'll add a little bit of this in here and a few flicks to make it look like the darkness is there in the feathers. The eye, eye is too small to have a glint. I'm just gonna put a little eye in there. It's just a slit, really. Now I'm gonna go to the tiniest bit of raw sienna. You could use yellow and permanent rose to get kind of an orange color in the beak. Yeah, I think I want that a little bit more orange actually, so I just will add a little bit of permanent rose to that. I'm going to add a little bit down here. So that's really kind of all to doing this heron. I'm going to make the beak have color that goes behind it, not just white. And there we go. Maybe a little bit darker, kind of following the beak to the eye and under the eye. There we go. There's that. Just all done, just that quickly. So now this is going to dry very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and paint in the background of the part that's not in the reflection. I think this is already dried. I can hit it. I'm going to hit it with a blow dryer for about 1 second here. All right, that was more than a second. Now for the greens in the background. This is going to be mostly Hansa Yellow Medium, which I just call yellow. So I'm not saying that over and over again. It's the yellow that I use. And I'm going to add Antwerp into it. That green's very close. Then we want to have some plain, oops, I got yellow into my raw sienna just then. All right. What I'm going to do now is figure out where the land hits the water, which is right in there. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of dark, just a little line here, so I know where I'm painting up from. Here, and then there's a little bit more down here. There's actually a little one here, and then across from the heron. If there's a brown line on this side of the heron, there needs to be one on this side also. So now I'm going to just make a few flicks up. Those are my darks. Now I'm going to go into the greens. If I have this color green on this side of the neck, I need to have this exact same green on that side of the neck. right over those little feathers. They'll still show. I'm just making up and down strokes. Same thing above the beak. It needs to be the same color below the beak. Now I'm going to make a little darker green with burnt sienna and Antwerp. This is wet now, so it's going to blur a little bit. I'm going to like that, I think. So I'm just, see how if you look at the reeds, you see that they just make these swooping, beautiful, just swooping some crisscross. Boy, that got thicker as it went up. You want them to get thinner as they go up. And now I'm going to get my, I'm going to go back to raw sienna with a little bit of yellow in it. I'm just going to put some more streaks of these. I just went over my beak there. I'm going to go back into burnt sienna and put a few more down here, a few more darks, because the darks at the base are really in between the blades of grass, so and then over here I think it's nice to have extra darks next to the side. And down here. So anytime I put one color on one side of the neck, that same color has to be on the other side, so that we know that that bird's in front of that thing that we just painted. I'm just doing a few more flicks. I'm not going to overdo this. That's it. So there is the top part of the painting. I actually see one little thing that's bugging me. I didn't paint green right up to the beak. So this needs to, because so I want the head to really stand out. It needs to be nice and solid right in there. So I'm gonna go through and kind of add that color a little bit more all through here. There. When this is dry again, I'll go through and I'll add some detail to the beak and add those little feathers. Now, the bottom. So, what I'm going to do on the bottom is I'm going to wet it all and paint it. The rule of reflections is that reflections are always the medium tone value of the thing that's reflecting. So if this is in a high key, then the water will be more of a medium key. So the value is more in the middle. And if the bird is super dark, it'll be less dark. And also when things are light, they will come down in the water. And so like a light can be a dot in the sky, but it can be a line in the water. And same thing with this light neck. It's gonna just sort of elongate even more. So it'll be nice for this format. So what I'm gonna do is just wet. I'm gonna paint in the green first. So I'm wetting my paper. I'm leaving where I'm going to put the reflection of the bird a little is really dry. You can see I have a lot of watermarks. The watermarks Arches of France. Every time they sell the company, they add another watermark. So, okay, here we go. Now I'm going to make those same colors, but I'm not using the bright greens anymore. I'm going to be using a little darker green. So it's going to be this is my lightest color that I'm putting in now. And the darkers. So this is Antwerp and burnt sienna. Just making this color green. I'm painting everything up and down. Every brush stroke is going the direction that the reeds are reflecting. I'm going to go into this brown now and reflect that down. I have kind of a light area in here that needs a little more pigment, so I'm going to add more green to that. I'm making my own greens with Antwerp blue, burnt sienna, and yellow, Hansa yellow medium. I want these corners to be darker. I'm going to put another layer down here. Okay. This is just starting to dry. It still has a shine. What I'm going to do right now is go in with my bird colors, and I'm going to paint them across the violet, definitely showing here. So I want this to touch the wet water. Didn't really get enough pink into that. Let's see if I can get that to come in more pink. Yeah, that's good. This needs to be a little darker right in there. Just add more of the blue. Even darker right in here, because it's really reflecting what we can't see, which is under the belly. And then the legs have to be the same color, the reflection. Okay, make that blur. Now I'm gonna take this is a thirsty brush. Okay, so I didn't get my green right in there. I need to make sure that's green right there. Okay, it needs to be at the same color on both sides of the leg. And I will add that dark blue up so that it's not so I had green there, so it looked like the leg was detached. But if I just add blue to here and stick it up to the body, then we know that that leg actually touches. Now I want to put in some streaks. This right now is damp, but the shine is off of it. If I go in with a few yellow brush strokes, what's going to happen is it's going to bleed into the color that's already there. So if I have that yellow one going in, it's making a watermark because there's more water in my brush than there is on the paper. So it's purposely making these that streak. I like that streak. Okay, I can do the same thing with the dark purple, or the dark, not purple, dark green. So there's that one that way. So if I do that one this way, I can do it with the brown. I put it up and I put it down. So it's, if I have a brush stroke going straight up, I have a brush stroke going straight down. If I have a brush stroke just making a little more dark green here. If I have a brush stroke that goes curving to the right, then when it reflects, it curves to the right. If I have one going up and, oh, that one just kind of went off, so I'll just make that one go off. That one's going up, this one's coming. Oh, I had a little bubble there, so actually that one didn't reflect right. It should have been curved like that. Got wavy. Okay, so now I want to have a few streaks coming across. So I just want to, let's see, can do this with a thirsty, you can do this with a thirsty brush. Now I'm putting these little streaks across this way. You can do it with dark color. You can add the colors to the little streaks across. You can get a thirsty brush and you can lift them. Yeah, if I just go across with a thirsty brush and then blot it up, I'll get little white lifts. See if I can show you that one again. That's not really working now. Okay, am I good? Is that good enough? Can we be done? Can we keep it simple? I do want this little area right under here, the shoreline, to be a little darker, but I lifted it here instead of darkening it. All right, and I did want to go back in and just do a little bit more on that beak. So I'm just repainting it so it's a little bit, has more paint. That's probably all I needed to. So the head comes off at the bottom, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm just gonna stop. And when I put the mat on it, it's just like that. Could add a few more darks in here in the reflection, but I'm gonna do that later. Okay, thanks for watching.